What's Rule 6, then? Yalan asked, despair creeping in. Rule 6. Bide your time. Let her think it was easy. Let her think you don't notice. Every idea you have from now on, you send in an email. You create a paper trail so long it becomes a ladder. You are not building her career. You are building your case. Yalan followed the rule. She became a ghost of productivity. Ideas for improving client outreach. Emailed. Notices of errors in senior analysts' spreadsheets. Emailed with a gentle, "Not sure if you caught this." She was helpful, silent, and meticulously documented. Gwen grew to rely on her shadow work, while simultaneously keeping her out of client meetings. "You're such a support here, Yalan," she'd say. The word support meaning stay in the back. The breaking point came at the internship's final review. A major client presentation was due. Gwen's team had been struggling with the market analysis. Yalan, working late, compiled a breathtakingly clear synthesis of emerging trends, using the bank's own proprietary data to highlight a massive, overlooked opportunity in sustainable investing in communities of color. It was bold. It was undeniable. She sent it to Gwen at midnight, her subject line, "Some potential angles for the Henderson presentation." The next day, she was not invited to the presentation prep. From her cubicle, she heard Gwen's team laughing, the whir of the color printer spitting out decks. At the end of the day, Gwen swept by her desk. "Great work on those numbers, Yalan. Really helped us pull it together." She handed Yalan a sealed envelope. "Your evaluation. HR says you've been a real asset." The envelope felt like ash in her hand. Yalan waited until Gwen left, then opened it. The evaluation was glowing with generic praise. Team player. Quick learner. Strong support staff skills. At the bottom, in the box for full-time offer recommendation, was a checkmark next to "Not at this time." The injustice was so complete, so surgical, it felt cold. All her work, her ideas, her silence, had been efficiently harvested, and she was being discarded, roots and all. She didn't cry. She felt a terrifying calm. She drove home, the evaluation on the passenger seat. Eleanor was in the garden, pulling weeds. She took one look at Yalan's face and stood up, wiping her hands on her jeans. They went inside. Yalan handed her the paper. Eleanor read it, her lips tightening. She then looked at her daughter. "What do you want to do?" The question was new. It wasn't "what should you do?" or "what does the rule book say?" It was a transfer of authority. Yalan looked out the kitchen window. "I don't want their offer," she said, and the truth of it shocked her. "But I don't want her to get away with it either." Eleanor nodded slowly. "Then you are not asking for a job. You are establishing a record. You are writing the story she will have to answer to." That night, they worked not on appeasement, but on accountability. Yalan compiled every email, every document she'd created, every instance of her uncredited work. She formatted it not as a complaint, but as a professional portfolio titled "Contributions During Summer Internship," with a cover sheet summarizing the quantifiable value added, processes streamlined, errors corrected, new market analysis generated. She requested a final meeting with Gwen and the branch's senior manager, copying HR. The meeting was in a glass-walled conference room. Gwen looked annoyed. The manager, a man named Robert, looked bored. Yalan, using her Rule 1 voice, did not speak of hurt feelings. She presented her portfolio. "I wanted to ensure my learning aligned with the bank's metrics for success." She watched as Robert's eyes scanned the first page, then narrowed. "We'll certainly take this under advisement for our internship program structure." It was a non-answer, a corporate deflection, but the power had shifted. But a month later, she heard through the grapevine that Gwen had been reassigned to a less visible role. They were a reaction to a world defined by others. She spent her years studying, but also observing. But the questions Eleanor had One evening, home for Thanksgiving, she sat with Eleanor in the now quiet kitchen. The hot comb was stored away. "I don't think I can do it, Mum," she said softly, across the table, her hand covering her daughter's. There were no tears now, only a deep, resonant pride. "They showed you the true north of your own worth." Yalan squeezed her mother's hand, the generational transfer complete. To dream of offense, not against people, but against systems. Their mission, to help organizations not just diversify. They taught the rules that Eleanor had taught Yalan not, as a manual for employees. And at the head of it, in a frame on the wall, one Sunday, years later, Yalan's own daughter Maya sat at that same kitchen table, struggling with a school project. she declared. Let's build your case. It was for sovereignty. And as she began to guide her daughter, she heard her mother's voice in her own.